We start off in Oriana with the moon setting the mood over the hotel, but inside, Epsilon is absolutely losing her marbles, crashing out because she just realized Lord Shadow is back, hitting the most extra instinctive pose known to man to process the shock. Alpha is sitting there sipping tea with infinite aura, basically telling Epsilon to touch grass and calm down, insisting that their boss is playing 4D chess and isn't just winging it, claiming he's already accomplished his mission. Epsilon snaps back with another pose, screaming about where he is, until Beta walks in wearing a tight swimsuit that she claims is battle gear, looking totally out of place. Alpha questions the fit with a deadpan stare, while Epsilon sweats, but Beta is proud of her Tanaka-san lore, bouncing all over the place with zero shame. Alpha just nods along like, sure, whatever you say, while Epsilon stays slumped in disbelief. Alpha updates the squad that Eta is researching tech, and Zeta is currently with Shadow. Which shocks Epsilon, since Zeta usually ghosts them. But then Alpha locks in to ask about the other thing, and Beta confirms the guest is stable. Cut to Akane waking up, looking absolutely cooked and confused about her spawn point, realizing she definitely isn't in her usual map. She spots a book she can't read and starts spiraling as memories of the Arcadia disaster hit her like a truck. Recalling the shadowy figure that stopped her, she realizes Minoru is actually alive and standing on business, crying tears of relief that her boy made it, before immediately feeling the guilt of her own killstreak. She prays to the timeline, vowing to wait for him and atone for her sins until the very end. Meanwhile, back at Midgar Academy, the sun is shining, but the vibes are rancid because Skel is screaming at Sid for ghosting them. He's raging about fishing debts, and Po is mad about missed chances to flirt, while Sid hits them with the most NPC excuse ever about a trip. The boys are jealous, screaming about his potential riz, and Skel accuses him of going to Oriana, which actually makes Sid look up from his book. Skel starts yapping about Rose becoming a tyrant, which makes Sid sweat nervously, as they explain she allegedly killed her dad and seized the throne. Skel claims she's a demon summoner, but Sid is hallucinating a dramatic confrontation with her, imagining her as a queen of darkness and absolutely glazing her new villain aura. He thinks they'll get along perfectly now, but Po kills the vibe by mentioning Shadow Garden is kidnapping students. Skel is shaking in his boots about people disappearing, but Po laughs it off like it's nothing. Skel asks if Sid studied for finals, then immediately caps about getting serious tomorrow. Po joins the delusion, and Sid stays silent before they all agree to fail together with maximum confidence. Suddenly, Sid realizes he actually forgot the test, and his grades are about to get cooked, slumping in his dorm later that night. He's panicked because he spent too much time RPing as Shadow, trying to calculate the perfect mob score, so he decides to cheat using hyperspeed clairvoyance because he has zero integrity. Out of nowhere, a raw fish falls on his book, and we see Zeta perched on the window like a loot goblin. She dumps a sack of mackerel on his floor for brain food, and Sid greets her like this is normal behavior. She flexes her height growth and shows off her catch, trying to feed him raw fish, but Sid is just like, cool story, bro. Zeta starts rubbing her face on his used clothes like she's down bad. Sid sighs at the cat behavior, and then she starts rolling around in his bed, wagging her tail. Sid tells her to stop marking her territory, so she dives under the bed to hide in the shadows.
From the darkness, she locks in and gets serious, reporting on the cult's movements and the location of a sealed arm. Sid smiles, remembering she loves playing spy in tight spaces, while Zeta predicts a fifth victim is coming soon. She asks for the purpose of the enemy's plan, and Sid drops some vague Chunibu line about eternal darkness, just to sound cool. Zeta, who is glazing him at a molecular level, thinks he knows everything and bows, vowing to solve the mystery for him. Cut to Claire's room, where she is absolutely seething, holding a literal chain and ready to crash out. She is furious Sid broke his promise, screaming that she's going to put a collar on him next time. She smiles like a Yandere villain plotting to drag him home. But then her cursed hand starts burning. She's in pain, wondering why the seal is acting up and calling out to Aurora, who is ghosting her. She checks her research notes, trying to connect the dots between her hand and Diabolos. Suddenly, the room goes silent, and she hears a whisper from the void. Reality literally shatters like glass, and Claire realizes she's in a trap.
An assassin tries to backstab her from the blind spot, but Claire has max stats. She reacts instantly, spins around, and punches the dude into the next dimension. He drops, the illusion breaks apart, and Claire is left confused in the rubble. She notices her room is back to normal, steps into the hallway, and realizes the whole school is empty. She feels a presence behind her, and Aurora finally shows up, looking sad. Claire turns to face her and demands answers immediately, screaming about why she has this cursed seal. Aurora apologizes, but says she can't explain because Claire is bait for him. Claire gets offended at the idea of protecting anyone, while Aurora admits she's jealous of her position. The hallway shifts dimensions, and Claire runs while Aurora guides her, fading away with a cryptic message about owing him a favor. Back in class, Alexia shows up with a fake smile that screams danger. Skel and Po instantly sell Sid out to save their own skins. Sid is staring at a butterfly like a lobotomized NPC, so Alexia grabs him by the collar and drags him out of class. She walks him down the hall, and Sid tries to deflect by talking about dead bodies because he has zero social awareness. Alexia drops the smile and gets serious, telling him to stay calm. She reveals Claire is missing. They found a collar in her room, and she's probably been kidnapped. Sid's face melts in horror because he has to deal with this plot line again.
The video ends here, but the story isn't over yet. Like the video if you're ready for the next part.